What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we are coming from Washington, D.C. in the Wharf, a massive $2 billion plus development project along the waterfront. As you can see, the marina behind me, might be some monuments in the background, as well as the apartments, condos, shops, restaurants, pretty much everything you'd want in a waterfront development. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about 10 different house flipping myths that you might have heard over the years from different real estate investors, real estate agents, people that have no interest whatsoever in real estate but might give an opinion on real estate investing, the news, pretty much anywhere you might have heard a real estate opinion. So the first myth we are going to bust is the fact that people say there are no more deals. And oftentimes what they're referring to is that there are no more deals for them because they have no strategic type of marketing to get any type of leads or really make any concerted effort to actually find deals. And actually, if you're a real estate nerd like I am, and you read books from the 70s or 80s on real estate investing, you will see that even back then people said that there are no more deals, that it's too competitive. And that's why your marketing strategies always have to be evolving and changing with the times. You always have to have some type of strategic angle with your marketing. So if you're doing direct mail, you can't just send out 200 letters and expect to do a deal. Most of the top investors are doing anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 letters per month. Or if you're networking, you can't just reach out to one or two real estate agents and expect them to find you a deal. You really have to reach out to the entire city, reach out to 500 real estate agents. Maybe 90% of them will tell you to get lost, but there'll probably be about 5 or 10% that would want to work with you and could probably start finding you deals. So you really have to be strategic. That's how you're going to find deals. Okay, myth number 2 when it comes to house flipping is that I will see on CNN and other news sites that the average house flipping profit, the average house flipper makes $50,000 per deal. And while that may be true for maybe the top percentage of investors, most investors, the average investor is not making $50,000 per deal. What CNN and these other sites are not taking into account are these little things that we investors like to call expenses. So they're taking into account the gross number. They'll say, okay, if a house sold at $100,000 and then the investor sold it for $150,000, then they made $50,000. So, they're kind of misrepresenting the information because they're not taking into account repair costs, commissions, financing costs, holding costs, pretty much any type of cost that an actual real estate investor would take into account when doing a project. Now, many investors do make that amount per deal, but I would say it's definitely more of the experienced investors that are making that amount or more per deal. Okay, myth number 3 for house flipping and real estate investing is that people will say it does not work in my market. And I hear this all the time. Everyone thinks their market is the most competitive. Like I mentioned, no matter where you live, whether you live in DC, whether you live in Alaska, people always think their market is the most competitive and that it probably won't work in their market. And this is a fairly easy myth to dispel. I'm sure if you went into any market, you could look at the properties active on the market and you could look at the renovated ones and you could probably see people that are getting very good deals on a consistent basis. I could almost guarantee you of that. And that being said, I actually work with a network of real estate investors spread all across the country in every single type of market from Hawaii to Oklahoma and everywhere else in between. And I can guarantee you that it works in every single market. It's just going to work differently in every market. Your strategies are going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to adapt to your own market. And use strategies that work in that market. Myth number 4 is that you need money to invest in real estate. Now, I know everyone says, no money down, that type of thing. And, the way I got started was exactly in that capacity. I basically had no money. I was out of college. I was making 15 or 17 bucks per hour. And the way you invest in real estate with no money is that you find deals for other investors and get paid a fee for basically assigning the rights of the contract to that investor. And then what you can do is kind of parlay those deals into bigger and bigger deals. So maybe eventually you start taking on the project yourself as opposed to wholesaling the rights to another investor. And you kind of start building on the bird dog and building on the wholesaling aspect of things to the point where maybe you're doing rehabs, maybe you're also doing wholesaling, maybe you're doing buy and hold, maybe you have different strategies going on. But you definitely don't need any money when you're getting started. You might need a few bucks here and there for some marketing strategies like direct mail or bandit signs or door hangers or even online marketing, but you definitely don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to start investing. Okay, myth number 5 is that if your real estate agent told you something, then it must be true. So when I was getting started, my real estate agent told me I shouldn't do investing, I was gonna go broke, it doesn't work in this market, it doesn't work, it's just a scam that you see on TV. any number of things. And in fact, he told me many more things that, were pretty depressing when you're first getting started, especially because when you're first getting started, you don't have a ton of resources, you don't have a ton of experience. So if an experienced real estate agent is telling you that something just flat out doesn't work, that can be a little disheartening at times. However, what you need to realize is you need to be getting your information from the right person. So the real estate agent I was listening to had zero experience investing. In fact, I think they had actually lost money on a few deals, 5 or 6 years ago, and so it kind of gave them a very bad taste in their mouth, and so they kind of went around saying, oh yeah, real estate investing just doesn't work. When in reality, there's plenty of real estate agents that will give you great advice on investing. You just need to find agents that are actually investors as well as being an agent. Okay, myth number 6 is that you have to be a flipper when it comes to real estate investing. And in reality, there's maybe 100 different ways, maybe not 100, but there's probably at least 10 or 20 different ways you can invest in real estate. Some are very active, some are much more on the passive side. I mean, there's some people that are just lenders. They just lend their money out to different real estate investors at 10, 12, 14, 15%. You can also obviously just do wholesaling where you don't actually take control of the property, from a rehab aspect, and you just sell the contract to another investor. Or you can be a landlord, or you can do commercial. There's literally countless different ways of real estate investing. So, don't try to just limit yourself or think that there's only one way of doing it when in reality, there's numerous. All right, myth number 8 is that real estate investing is too risky. So, and my opinion on this is that, look, any investment is risky if you don't know what you're doing. So if I were to start investing in Bitcoin or Forex trading or gold or any number of different investments, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'd probably lose my money. However, if you have experience and you know what you're doing, Forex trading can be a great investment. Gold can probably be a great investment. Bitcoin, same with real estate investing. You just need to find the people that are successful, model their strategies, develop your own strategies from them, and kind of go from there. At this point in my real estate investing career, it's really not that. There's always some level of risk, but if you're buying, this is just a basic example, if you're buying an asset at $100,000 that's worth, let's say $200,000 fixed up, there's a lot of forgiveness in there, there's a lot of profit in there. There's a lot of ways to make that type of deal work. However, it can be certainly very risky if you're new to the game and maybe you're just expecting the property to appreciate by $50,000 in the next year because maybe it's a good economy, or maybe you're using a comp from a different neighborhood and you're trying to set an all-time record for that neighborhood price range. That's when it can get risky. Okay, myth number 9 is that you can only invest in real estate in a good economy. So, as far as short-term flips go, you can invest in any type of economy. It doesn't matter because you're purchasing the property at such a low value compared to the market value, and you're not holding on to the property for 6 months or a year or anything like that. It's a short-term turnaround. In fact, the top investors prefer when it's a down economy because there's less investors in the market and they can buy more houses. If you're playing the buy and hold game, yeah, I get your point. That's why you want to buy properties for cash flow, or if you're holding on just for appreciation, plan on holding on at minimum of 5 years, if not 10, 15, even 20 years. However, sometimes the down economies actually provide the best opportunities for purchasing properties because obviously you can buy them at a discount and there's less competition. All right, so myth number 10 in today's video series is that real estate seminars are a scam. And having been to numerous real estate seminars and continuing to go to them, I can guarantee you that they are not, if you apply what you're actually learning from the seminar. So if you were to think about college, some people might spend $100,000, even $200,000 in college going into years of debt to learn basically information that you can learn for free online through YouTube videos maybe, or through books at the library or on Amazon and things like that. And what is college going to get you? In most cases, it'll get you right out of college, a job paying slightly above minimum wage. Now, there's always exceptions to every rule and whatnot, but that was my own personal experience. I got a pretty low paying job coming out of college, somewhere I'd spent 4 years, invested a ton of time and resources. And furthermore, I was in a business school in college, and before I failed out of the business school, many of the teachers actually teaching the business program had never even done business whatsoever. They had just studied textbooks. So they basically had zero real-world experience. And the difference between that and real estate seminars is that the people teaching the real estate seminars, oftentimes have a massive track record of success, are still flipping houses, still invest in real estate, and that's what we call specialized information. So a real estate seminar might only be a weekend, 3 or 4 days, and you might spend several $1,000s. But the stuff that you can learn in a seminar is stuff that you can apply to the real world, stuff that active investors are using, stuff that you can apply to your business, and stuff that can create financial freedom, or at least become self-employed with things that you might learn there. And best of all, it's taught from someone that's actually been there and done that in the real world, and is now teaching many of the principles that they learned along their way. And look, you don't have to apply everything that they teach you, but if you're telling me that you can't apply like 1 or 2 things that you might learn at a seminar into your own business and be successful with that, then you're crazy. And if you were to ask the top investors, top real estate investors in any market, how many seminars have they been to? Do they do coaching? Do they do things like that? I could almost guarantee you that categorically every single one would say not only do they go to seminars, but they continue to get coaching, they continue reading books, and they probably, I don't want to say have a negative opinion of traditional education, but I bet they would tell you that traditional education did not help them become a real estate investor. So that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed the 10 myths of real estate investing and house flipping. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Please check out some more videos. Please share this. Please like this. Do what you have to do. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.